Hey guys, what's going on? Zephyrnix here, and I'll try to make this as quick as possible. So I've gone ahead and I was looking at one of Blunty's videos. You guys know, Blunty comes out with some very good videos, so I definitely wanted to go ahead and give them a look, see. And I actually came across one guy named, I say you not to you noob, I don't know. And anyway, let me go ahead and start from the beginning so you guys can get an understanding of the situation. First of all, Blunty released a rant video, and the rant video was basically about how he was upset regarding Sony's nabs. They nabbed the I believe it's the producing rights in Europe and in Australia. Basically, which means is that they are the only ones who can produce the game there for the new Ghostbusters game, by the way. So what happened was, though, is they went ahead and only allowed it to be released on the PlayStation 3, or rather the Sony format, which means that the PlayStation 2 and the PSP version also. Now, nonetheless, it's pissed off some gamers, yes, including Blunty, and rightfully so. But the video that was response to that one basically was like this. He was talking about how, first thing any Sony fan does, or I don't want to say fanboy, I'm just going to say Sony fan, any person who was backing Sony, the first thing they do is this. They start waving their arms like this really fast, and they yell out, Microsoft, Microsoft, Microsoft. Basically what they're doing is they always go back and say what Microsoft did. Why can't it just stick on what Sony did? No, they got to go run off and say Microsoft, Microsoft all the time. And it's really annoying. So this one, once again, raised his arms and yelled like this. And the first thing he started yelling out is DLC. So the first thing, he made a comparison between Microsoft and Sony from Microsoft and Ghostbusters, which I did not understand. And I'm not going to go ahead and respond to that part. However, what happened was this. He went ahead and he starts talking about the exclusive downloadable content and how Microsoft screwed over Sony fans. Now, the game is one thing, but when you're talking about DLC, which is just extra, you really don't warrant a conversation, man. You don't have any legging to back on. Or why would you warrant DLC over, and kind of compare it to an actual game? DLC, which is $30 to $15 versus a $60 game. Do you understand the morality of what you... Anyway, because you probably don't. So, I won't even go into that one. Let me try to go ahead and put this in like this one. Okay, so, sorry. Let's see. Okay, first of all, he was talking about the Grand Theft Auto 4 downloadable content exclusive. Now, you can't really do that because that was Sony's fault. Microsoft paid them money to go ahead and make it. Okay? They were not going to make it at all. But Microsoft said, well, hey, could you do this for us? So, if Microsoft went out their pocket and said, can I get an extra favor? Who's at the and who's to blame? Let me ask you a question before I ask that question. Now, if Sony knows about this, obviously everyone knew about it, and they did nothing about it, which includes saying go into Rockstar and say, hey, could you do us some too? Could you bring some exclusive ones, maybe? So if you can't do the ones that you're giving to Microsoft, can you do some Sony exclusives? Why didn't they do that? They could have. There was nothing in the contract, as far as we knew, regarding the fact that they was only going to make episodic episodes for Microsoft console. They were going to make exclusive episodic consoles for the 5 million, I think it was. But that's okay, because Microsoft came out of pocket and gave it to them, and Sony did nothing. Sony could have did something, but they did nothing. So that's their fault. Don't blame Microsoft. Blame the person responsible, which is Sony. They're the ones who said, well, go ahead, Microsoft. Go ahead and do it. That's one. Two, he was talking about the Fallout 3 downloadable content. Now, this one is funny because I don't remember ever hearing that Microsoft paid Bethesda any money in order to create these things exclusively for the PC and the 360. I don't remember that. I do remember, however, that they do a lot of games for the PC and the 360, and release DLC for not a lot of games, but one in particular was Oblivion. Exclusively for those two, okay? Exclusively. And yes, I know that later on they did release one for the PlayStation 3 with DLC. Rather, with the DLC already built into it for the most part, but there was still a few, I think 1 or 2 episodic episodes or whatever that came exclusively with the PC and the 360. But Sony did not do nothing about it. Sony could have went ahead and said, hey, we want that too. We will go ahead and pay some money to get that for our consumers, for you guys right there. But no, they didn't do that. They didn't. I mean, you Sony guys, you Sony fans, I'm just going to say fans, not fanboys. There's a difference. And obviously you don't know the difference, by the way, because I saw the way you tried to throw that little thing at Blunty. No. He was not showing any fanboyism. All he was saying was that he was upset regarding Sony's decision. Okay? That's all he was upset about. He did not mention that. And that's what goes on with you guys right there. That's what shows. That is the first sign of a Sony fan right there. I'm just going to say Sony fan. I'm not going to say Sony fanboy. Nope. Ain't going to go into that little trap. But you guys do it all the time. If you're speaking out against Sony, you're automatically branded a Sony fanboy. I mean, excuse me, you're already branded a Microsoft fanboy, an Xbox fanboy, whatever. It makes no sense at all. Then again, the whole Trade for Life thing doesn't make any sense at all, seeming that you say Trade for Life and their lifespan is usually between 5 to 10 years of any system. Oh, and speaking of that, another guy made a response to that. I want to talk about him too really fast. Glock Ninja. The name says it all. But, excuse me. Okay. Now, first of all, he started ranting about different things. I actually forgot what he ranted about. Okay, I'm going to do it really fast, okay? Now, first of all, he started running his mouth regarding the fact of how the sales went. When the Wii was released, they wouldn't keep them in stock. That's what he was saying. And he said when the PlayStation 3 was released, they kept them in stock. And when the 360 was released, they would not keep them in stock either. First of all, let me explain something to you. With Microsoft 360, yes, they tried to keep it in stock, but they ran out. The Wii, same thing. PlayStation 3, however, didn't have that problem. Not because they made enough, but because nobody was buying it. Okay, well, maybe like a couple of people were buying it, but not enough to warrant the sold out sign. That's for sure. So, really, I mean, him too. First thing he said was Microsoft, Microsoft, Microsoft. And that's like one of the most annoying things in the world. Oh, here's one I love. I'm going to end the video with this one. He rants about how you can buy a PlayStation 1 and a PlayStation 2 still brand new. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't know where you can buy a PlayStation 1 at. Okay, I don't know about that. But PlayStation 2, yes, you can buy it new. Why? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not good business sense to run, to be going ahead and selling your predecessor with the successor. But why does Sony do it? I tell you why Sony's doing it. Because Sony's not making no money off the PS3. That's so freaking obvious. It's obvious that they're not making any money off the PS3, so they need the PS2 in order to make that ching. What the? You know what? Brother. Okay, maybe I'm going way about this all wrong. Maybe you're not in the retail business. I'm not in the retail business either, but I know enough to know a business ploy when I see one. And I bet you $1 million that with this thing that Sony is doing regarding Ghostbusters, you're going to see some like dodgy press conference from Sony saying how much it sold or whatever, and I don't know. That's up to you guys, you Europeans and I don't know why the Europeans are really getting upset, really, and Australians, you guys should be used to getting screwed over by Sony. You guys get screwed over by Sony all the time. Why you know? So I kind of fault all three. I fault Blunty for that too. Blunty, straight to you, man. Why? Why? If you want to make a response, by all means, buddy, make a response. I love your videos. I would love to get a response from you. But why do you get upset? Because Sony screws you guys over all the time. It's almost as if they enjoy it. Really, it really does. But at any rate, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm out.